Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk About Christianity. I'm Keith, and I'm here with Zach.
He mentioned my name first, Pablo.
Well, because Pablo's just getting back from vacation, so
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
Now
last.
you're second place, Seth. Second place.
You're always second place in my heart, Pablo.
Little inside joke there. But
Yeah.
yes, we welcome you to our episode this morning. And before we actually started recording, we were just talking about Pablo's vacation.
We were just.
Pablo is back from vacation.
He is.
Thanks,
How's it
thanks,
feel? Do you feel energized, Pablo? Do you feel a little bit revitalized? Are you feeling better that you took your vacation?
Maybe in the next week I'll be.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Not today, but
Well,
thanks,
today.
I mean, Pablo, you got to go somewhere exotic, lots of sun, lots of sand.
Yes, and
The beach.
tourists, a lot of foreigner people.
Okay, so Pablo, you were in the city of Ica last week on a Yes to campaign, correct?
Yes, I was in the Yes to campaign in the city of Ica for 5 days, working as a translator and part of the organization too. There.
How did that campaign go, Pablo?
Okay, it since okay, 95% of the Americans that were in Peru, they never been in Peru before.
Oh, wow. So it was the
Yes,
first time.
Yes, they were in
And
Central American countries, and
uh-huh.
no, they thought it was just like the same, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Central American countries, but no, it
Nope.
wasn't.
They found out it was a little different.
They found out
found
real
out.
quick.
Well, okay,
Yes.
so what did they see that was different? What were they
No llamas.
expecting?
No
Oh.
beans. They were looking for beans on the lunch, maybe. Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
how did the environment compare?
Because they thought that it was a small cities, no, a small
Oh, okay.
village.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And they weren't
But,
ready for the 500,000 people of Ica.
yes, and also for the 1 hour and a half crossing the city of Lima travel, no.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yep.
also, yeah, but tell me.
Oh no, we're listening to you.
No. It went awesome. It was actually during that week it was full energy. There is a lot of singing.
Okay.
A lot of singing, and most of young people, but young people that are involved on church.
Okay.
I mean, no?
Awesome.
Yeah, they take part of singing. They take part of maybe some leadership at the churches. They separate us on groups to evangelize. Knocking doors was our job, and inviting people for the meeting in the night, no, every night from
Yes.
Sunday to Friday. The first 2 days we were just knocking doors, and there were a lot of BBS. The number said that at the end of the week it was more than 1,000 kids.
Oh, wow.
That received the gas. That's the word of God. We have 7 baptisms. The 7 baptisms were on the last 2 days. No, it's just and 4 restorations. No.
Okay. Awesome.
This evangelic, maybe I was involved many years on medical campaigns. And on medical campaigns, you can see results, no, on the second day, even on the first day, no. Because in this mission trip, you saw the result on the last 2 days. It's because you were taking studies or Bible studies with maybe one person or one specific person or one specific family for 2 days or 3 days, and you just can see the result on the last 2 days, no, to the decision to become a Christian. So for people that maybe is no made for people that see baptisms on the first day of campaign. Don't expect that.
Right.
It's more like working or investing time or looking for the right heart, no, of on during the week. But that was awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So what was
Yes.
going on over there this week, Keith, in Saxton? And then I'll finish up by talking about us.
Mm,
What you got coming up?
yeah, well, we had our monthly preachers workshop on Monday, and there were I don't remember how many were there, but it was a very, very good gathering.
Awesome.
And we do that every month on the second Monday of the month, and we, it's not just coming together and eating donuts and drinking coffee, although there is donuts and coffee that are present, of course.
And lots of people are drinking coffee and eating donuts.
Yes,
but it's not just about that.
No, I would say it's not just about that, but excellent group of guys. There were, I want to say there were like 8 of us that were there.
Awesome.
This month, and so we got to enjoy that on Monday. Otherwise, right now it's just kind of the normal craziness of summer,
Yep.
And then we've got our Southeast Missouri Summer Youth Series that is starting not this coming Monday, I think the next Monday, and so we're looking forward to that. But okay, so tell us about Oath.
Oath was a big success this year. We on Friday we doubled our numbers from last year. On Saturday we added 50 more people. Our total count on Saturday was I think it was like a 160. Our total count on Friday was 130 or 135. So we it's growing. It's growing. We're excited about it, and it went well. Everything went well. All the speakers were fantastic this year. We added Paul Sperlin, who was able to make it, and he spoke with they actually did a Q&A with that John and Paul Show podcast that they do, and they did it with Lonnie Jones and Kyle Butt. It was huge. It was a big event for this because it was a really, really, really good question and answer. They answered a lot of tough questions, and so that was really good. And just overall, it was a great weekend. I mean, it was all that you could hope for. And next year, we're moving the dates next year because it will fall on July 4th. As a matter of fact, yeah, it will be July 4th next year. And so we're moving it to July 10th through the 12th. I'm fairly certain. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's where we're moving it next year. But it was a big success. We were excited about it. I mean, when is it having Kyle Butt and Lonnie Jones going to be a success? I mean,
sure.
And if you're looking into coming next year, if we have any listeners who are looking into coming next year, you can go to our Facebook page, the Paintsville Church of Christ Facebook page. You can find a couple videos that were done by Kyle Butt and Lonnie Jones telling you why Oath is unique, what the origin of Oath is, and why you should come to Oath. And I would definitely check those out.
Maybe you can get Pablo to come next year.
I want Pablo to come to America so bad. It's not even funny.
Okay. I'm going to take very serious that invitation, and I'm not kidding.
Okay, Pablo, come, man. If you can get here, we will have somebody pick you up at the airport.
No
problem.
Because let me just finish with all my license expenses from college.
Right. He needs to travel. Pablo needs to travel. He needs to come to America. He can come here, and then he can go over there with you, Keith. He can get a taste of 2 different geographies.
Well, yeah, two very different geographies. That's for sure. Okay, so Pablo, you are going back on vacation next week?
He just got back. He's going back next week.
Actually, tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to Wacho tomorrow?
I'm going to watch it tomorrow to oversee how's the situation.
Uh-huh.
Then I'm on my way to Chimbote
Okay.
Do you ever work,
because
Pablo?
as I tell you, oh guys, we schedule no
Yes.
teamwork from churches, and Callao is in this weekend. So I'm going with my brother Arturo to work there and help the church. So I'm supposed to have vacations, real vacation this week.
You're supposed to just say I'm having my second vacation this week. That's what you need to say. I'm taking my second vacation. We
Yeah,
only get 2 a year, Pablo.
I'm
So you're
taking
out.
I'm taking my second vacation tomorrow until Sunday. I'll be back Monday. Then I'm leaving again Friday. No, next
Okay.
Friday.
Where are you
Yes.
going then?
I'm
Well,
going
that will
to Huacho.
that will
Wow.
actually be the start of the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
A week from Friday.
Yes.
So
That's it.
okay.
And
So
then I think I have no more trips for until December, I think.
Until he
But
decides to take another
yeah,
vacation.
but there will be another Yes to campaign, Huacho. It's about 90 Americans coming
Okay.
to
Wow.
the city of Huacho.
and that will, yeah, if you've been to Ica and you've been to Huacho, they are two totally different environments.
Yes, two different
Very
environments.
very different. So that will be, of course, you will have a different group going on that campaign to Huacho.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but okay, so. Yeah, we've been talking about this stuff for 12 minutes now. There's obviously a lot of stuff going on at
Mm-hmm.
our various locations. It's an extremely busy time of year, and
PTP's coming up too, Keith.
yes,
Coming up.
Polishing the Pulpit will be here in
Next month.
a little over a month, about
Polishing the pulpit.
Starts on the 16th of August.
So, yeah, and today's what, the 10th, I think, of July. So.
Yep.
Yeah, about 5 weeks. There's well, for us here at Shady Acres, it's like, I think fall is actually our busiest time.
Right.
We're a lot of things, getting ready to get started here. So
You got your gospel
it's gonna
meeting
be
coming up.
busy.
You got your gospel meeting coming up.
Yes. As a
Who
matter
is
of
it?
fact, Spencer's coming back this year.
Oh, really?
So
Awesome. We'll have him on the program, maybe.
We will drag him back on the program, whether
We've got one coming up in September. Jason Rollo is coming here in September.
Mm-hmm.
So we're excited about that. I've only ever heard him once. I think I heard him at PTP is where I heard him, but he's coming in September. So I just love gospel meetings. I don't know what it is about gospel meetings, but I just love them. I love the fellowship. I love the speakers and hearing the topics I just love fellowship. I
like the knowledge, the wisdom too, no?
Mm-hmm.
Of the experienced preacher.
It's
I like that.
Exactly. It's like going to a mini PTP. That's how I look at it.
I like the energy of the young preachers too, no? And the new perspective that they put. Yeah, I like that.
It's awesome. All right. What we're going to talk about this week on Let's Talk About Christianity. Are we going to talk about Christianity?
I heard somebody make a comment the other day, and I can't remember who it was, and I can't remember where it was. I can't remember anything, but yeah, I can't get it out of my mind. And the gist of the comment was this: and he was talking about the church, but he made the comment that anybody can tear a house down. It takes no skills. It takes no, as far as that goes, if you want to tear a house down, you can do nothing. And, time and decay will take care of that for you. But to build takes a number of different things.
Right.
It takes, number one, it takes intent.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a plan. You have to have the materials. You have to have the tools. and you have to have knowledge of how to do it. And I think he actually used the word professionals. We trust the building to professionals, but when we're talking about the church, I don't I don't consider it that we have church building professionals.
No.
That's not the way that this works, or that's not the way that it's supposed to work. But we have to put those elements together, and we've got to have the intent, and we've got to have a plan, and the materials, and the energy. Didn't even talk about the energy, but you've got to put all of that to work in order to build anything. And and obviously we're not talking about a physical structure here, constructing
Right.
a physical structure, but whether we are talking about the church, whether we are talking about our families, our marriages,
I was going to say we could talk about our homes with that as well.
or simply the relationship we have with one another, we need some intent. That is the first thing. That is the first step. If something is going to be built and built right, we have to have the intent. But actually, whoever made this comment, and I wish I could remember who it was, but he made the comment. I think it's one of the former elders here from this congregation, if I remember right. I think it was in Bible class on Sunday morning that he was talking about this. But he was talking about, if you want to tear it down, all it takes is a careless word, or not caring, or not loving, or those kinds of attitudes.
Right. It's so much easier to tear down than it is to build up, because when you tear down something, you don't have to put a lot of effort into it. Now, you do have to have intent. I think a lot of times people have an intent that they want to tear down something that they don't want.
Don't have to have the intent, though.
You don't have to
tear something down?
No, I said you do have to have intent to tear something down.
I say you don't have to have intent.
You don't have
to tear
to have
something.
intent.
No. I remember when I don't remember how old I was, maybe 13, 14, something like that. I actually backed the truck into one of the barns, and that did not end well.
The barn fell. Did it
No,
fall?
the barn did not fall. The barn was built better than that, but it definitely did some damage, and it there was no intent for me to damage the barn,
Right.
but I damaged it.
I didn't mean to do it, but I did it. Well, I think that a lot of times, especially when it comes to the church, I think a lot of times people have a certain intent or a certain motive in mind, and then that intent and motive leads to what they're trying to accomplish. And if you have an intent or a motive to tear down the church in any specific way, it doesn't matter, because there are a variety of ways that you can tear down a congregation. But if you have that intent and that motive, then you can accomplish that sometimes if you don't have people who are willing to stand up to you and say, listen, you're not going to do this. This isn't going to happen. And I think a lot of times people do tear down, if we're talking about the church, tear down the church without an intent. They don't consciously do it, kind of like you running into that barn. You didn't mean to do it, but they do it. But I think a lot of times people have a motive. They have an intent. They see something that they don't like, or they see something that maybe makes them feel a certain type of way, and they want to tear that specific thing down. That's my point of view from it.
And I've been kind of in construction mode at our house here the past couple of weeks, and so it was just that sort of tied in with the comment that this fellow made, right, and brought this to my consciousness. But okay, so let's say that there's something you don't like that you do have the intent to tear down. what is resting on whatever it is you tear down. See, that's the problem with tearing something down, is that most of those pieces that comprise any kind of building are not, they don't stand alone.
Right.
Those things are connected to something else. And when we begin looking at the church and we think of tearing down something that we don't like, we may not give consideration to what that is attached to and what that is supporting. And when we, and you know, my unless it is false doctrine, unless it is sin, I think we ought to be very careful about tearing things down in the church. Pablo, was that the goose?
Yes, that was a goose.
Okay, all right. So Ginger, there's your goose right there. We have had a goose sighting, or not a sighting, but
a goose hearing.
A goose hearing. So Ginger, there you go. But shouldn't we be focused on building up, unless it is something that, you know, it is sinful or particularly damaging to the church? You know, shouldn't we be building up? But how are we going to build? And especially, let's take into consideration that the structure of the house, let me stop talking about the house. Let's talk about the church. The structure of the church may contain elements that we do not like. Mm-hmm. There may be things in our local congregations that we do not like, and we may have very valid reasons for not liking them. But how are we going to build up without tearing down?
Well, if you look at a house as a whole, and then you kind of look at what the church is, the church, I think a lot of people have this misconception that the church is going to grow. It's going to be built up if, you know, 4 or 5 people carry 80% of the workload. And a church doesn't work that way, because a house is joined together. It is joined together by different aspects and different variables that bring it together, that make it a sound structure, and so on and so forth. A church is the same way. If you're going to grow, if you're going to build up the church, whether it's in your community or whether it's in other parts of the world, like most congregations do, and healthy congregations do, then you're going to have the effort, you're going to have the participation of the entire congregation, because the congregation is never going to make gain in a world of darkness if every Christian in that congregation isn't shining their light.
And this is a point that I made in a devotional last night, that we all have our skill set.
Yep.
Our skill set may not be perfect. Mm-hmm. Our own skill set may not be sufficient, the analogy that I used was, you know, having the perfect tool to do a job.
Right.
But you may not have that perfect tool, and you may need
10 minutes remaining.
Yeah. You may need to use a tool that's not perfect for that particular job in order to accomplish what you are trying to accomplish.
And I can build off of that and say, you know, sometimes your specific gift, ability, or so on and so forth, it may not be as, you know, it may not be as visible as, say, the preacher, or say the elders, or say the deacons, and so on and so forth. And I think a lot of times that scares people off from using their specific gift, their specific ability in the church, because they think, well, it's not really going to matter. I'm not going to do the amount of work that so-and-so is doing, or this person's doing. And it kind of makes them shy away from making the best possible impact that they can make with the gift that they have been given or the ability that they have to make a difference in the church.
I'm not even sure that it's fear that stops
Right.
people from using their talents or their abilities or their skills or whatever word that we want to use. I think sometimes it just comes down to I know that what I can do may not be as good as what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just going to let you do it.
Right.
And that, man, that sounds great on one degree. I mean, let's go back to the analogy of building a house. You may not be the best at plumbing. So you say, you know what? That guy's a professional. I'm going to let that guy do the plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Let that guy do the plumbing, but you are going to pay a price.
Yep.
And we don't take into consideration that when we let someone else perform ministry, do service within the kingdom of God and things that maybe we could be doing, there is a price that has to be paid, but we're not the ones getting the bill.
There's such a big cost on your spiritual growth when you do things of that sort. It's not, you may not realize it, but it's there. That's a great point.
Well, who is paying the who's losing?
Well, the church is paying the price.
The church is paying the price.
But you're also paying the price in a specific way when it comes to your growth and your ability to make a difference in this world through the church too. I really do believe that.
Yep.
Pablo, what you got to add?
You've been mighty quiet there.
He's back from vacation. He's ready to go on another vacation, so he's going to kind of just take it easy, not say much, get this over with so I can go back to the beach.
Okay, well, we've got 2 minutes to wrap this up now. So
give us your thoughts, Pablo, in 2 minutes.
5 years ago, there was a preacher, an American, and I was talking about some people trying to, make a division of the church here in Peru. And he said something.
Making division in the church?
Making division, yes, with doctrine. No?
Okay.
And he said, there must be a special place on hell for people like that, no? That try to divide the church. And,
right.
Oh, man. When you talk about skills and things like that, there's people that say, hey, Brother Pablo, I want to do this, I want to do that. Why do I do this? So I just talk, I tell this person very gently, okay, your intentions are good, but sometimes are not enough. Good intentions. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Before to lead, you need to follow. So I put this guy with another who has more experience and
right.
He can learn. Just to finish, there was one guy in the church one day that he said, Brother Pablo, I want to encourage the church. Okay. Why? Yes, when the service will finish, let me please stay part of some of the announcements, and I want to encourage the church. Okay, do it. He standed there. He was an old guy with family and everything. He was doing good the first 30 seconds, and then he just messed up. Instead of encourage the church, he was just discording just not trying to do that. There was a member of the church, just to finish, who told me, Brother Pablo, stop him. No, I say, no, he will learn from this.
He'll learn from this.
Yeah, I didn't stop him. And when he finished, he came to me and said, Brother Pablo, no, I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. No, he realized by himself.
There's some preparation also. Okay, we've got to wrap this up, or we're going to go over on time, and we're really try not to do that. We want to say thank you for listening, and Pablo, are you going to be available next week?
Sí.
Okay, good deal. So we will see you next week here on Let's Talk About Christianity. Thank you very much.
Be a
Así
church
es.
grower, not a church destroyer.
Okay, stay in school, kids.
Stay in school, kids. Just say no. Oh,